Hey folks, my name is Chris. Thanks for watching today. If you're still alive in your fantasy football playoffs, congratulations. I don't think we want you completely changing up your lineup for Week 15, but there are certainly roster tweaks to potentially be made, and that's why we're here to talk waiver wire. By the way, we're coming to the end of our season. If you'd like to help out the channel and make sure we stick around for 2020, here's the one thing you can do. Please subscribe. Right now, while you're thinking of it, hit that subscribe button. It makes a huge difference. It really does. Okay, first up, if you're in a shallow league's Final Four, here are the potential adds. And this time of year, remember, the rank here doesn't matter nearly as much as what you need on your team, depending on your injury situations or your roster depth. As always, this percent ownership is from Yahoo Leagues. Raheem Honey Mostert has taken control of San Francisco's backfield. I can't promise it'll stay that way. Matt Breida looked good in limited action in his return, but Mostert had 38 snaps compared to 12 for Breida and 10 for Tevin Coleman. Mostert is a risky RB2 this week. Darius Geis sprained his knee again on Sunday, which leaves Adrian Peterson in a workhorse role. Don't love him next week against the Eagles. Love him more Week 16 against the Giants. Provided T.Y. Hilton is out, which at this point I'm kind of taking as a given, Zach Pascal is a startable commodity in a lot of leagues if you're tired with your supposed star receiver. David Njoku made his long-anticipated return. Didn't do all that much, but he gets the Cardinals in Week 15. And Bo Scarborough, not great. Would rather you did not start him, but the workload has been pretty safe. Our list of backup running backs on which we might speculate shrunk by one in Week 14 as Rashad Penny suffered a knee injury just as he was eating into Chris Carson's workload, and CJ Prosise does not move the needle for me, but spending bench spots on these other five guys for one more week does make some good sense. Hey, I didn't put Malcolm Brown back on the handcuff list, but given how improved the Rams' O-line looked on Sunday night, it wouldn't be nuts to put Malcolm Brown on this list as well. And then here are the deeper league adds. Once again, I mentioned, it really depends on what you need. It doesn't much matter whether DeAndre Washington is number one or A.J. Brown is number one or Tyler Higbee is number one. What matters is what your roster needs. It would be awesome not to have to add anyone at this point. But for instance, if Josh Jacobs winds up being shut down for the rest of December, DeAndre Washington might have some value these next 2 weeks. I will look at him on film in a moment. We'll do the same for A.J. Brown. Rashad Perryman, who on my podcast we like to call Kaiser Soze, because for a long time it seemed like he was just a rumor. With Mike Evans probably out for the season, Perryman gets a big-time chance for production in Tampa's kind of ridiculous passing offense. Higbee produced his second straight big game. We have to see whether Gerald Everett will return for Week 15, but if not, riding Higbee makes a lot of sense. And Patrick Laird, he caught a few passes against the Jets. He played 53 out of 65 snaps. I don't suspect he's all that good, and Miami's offense doesn't tend to produce a bunch of running back points. But Giants, Bengals, the next 2 weeks, it could work out for Patrick Laird. Okay, back in a moment to renew our looks at Washington and Brown. It's gift-giving time, but what about a gift for yourself? The gift of an Audible membership. For a limited time, Audible is offering more than half off your first 3 months. Access an unbeatable selection of audiobooks, including, for example, one of my 4 novels that I've written and read, available on Audible right now. You can choose 3 titles every month, 1 audiobook and 2 exclusive Audible originals you can't hear anywhere else. It's great while commuting, at the gym, or during your holiday travels. Right now, for a limited time, you can get 3 months of Audible for just $6.95 a month. That's more than half off the regular price. Give yourself the gift of listening. For more, go to audible.com/HarrisTube or text HarrisTube to 500-500. Okay, let's start out our look at DeAndre Washington with the best play of the day that he made, his longest run of the season to date, a touchdown early in the game against the Titans. I think from the end zone angle, what you see is, and it's a great big hole to run through, Jacobs has had the benefit of this all year, but watch Washington make a move there on number 24, Kenny Vaccaro. It's not the most aggressive tackling effort, but the shake gets Washington through, and then enough strength to spin and carry Adoree Jackson into the end zone. Washington is a smaller guy, and what we mostly see from him is, go fast. Make a move, go fast. He's not a crazy burner, but he clearly has been coached to run fast, to run like his hair is on fire. I don't think he's going to break a lot of tackles. He's likely to run into a lot of contact, not really going to escape if someone like first-round rookie Jeffrey Simmons gets hold of him. But especially playing with Derek Carr, there's a chance for checkdown work. Maybe it's not usually going to amount to a ton, but enough touches, and you never know. On this one, you can see him split up at the top of your screen as a wideout. It's a little delayed slant. This is what Carr does because Carr isn't all that aggressive. There's a chance for receiving volume. This one, it's a tie game in the second half. Washington is in the backfield. Watch him run an arrow route out of the backfield. This sort of West Coast dinky-dunky thing. It absolutely can work and probably would work here if Washington did not lose his footing, at which point it should be an interception, but that's not our concern here. By the time it's a blowout, again, you'll get checkdowns, and Washington hasn't done anything super special on this one. He doesn't really have a ton of oomph or acceleration or shiftiness like Josh Jacobs does. If we're adding DeAndre Washington, it's probably not for his skills. It's almost entirely because he can be the body that's doing this sort of play, the workload opportunity that might be upon him. There's a reason I call these two Raider backup running backs DeAndre Rashardington. It's because there really isn't that much difference between them skills-wise. But while Rashad has been a little bit more of Oakland's third down weapon of choice for more of this season, while Jacobs was healthy, Washington was much more of a lead back on Sunday. So we are not in love with DeAndre Washington, but in deeper leagues where there's nothing on the waiver wire available, and maybe you're a Josh Jacobs owner, or maybe you're tired of your regular fill-in, Washington against Jacksonville, Week 15, provided there's no Josh Jacobs, sounds like the source of a bunch of touches, and I'm okay with that. Possibly some decent success. Okay, and then from the same game, going in the other direction, playing a much less scarce position, we have up and down rookie A.J. Brown, who was very up on Sunday with 153 yards and 2 touchdowns. Let's see how it happened. Brown's first touch against the Raiders Sunday was this reverse. I think you can immediately see we are not talking about a total burner or someone who's incredibly shifty, but 226 pounds. When he cuts upfield, when he gets going, he can bring a little thunder. Here's his first touchdown. It's a long play. It doesn't necessarily overwhelm me with wonder. He's lined up split at the bottom of your screen. You can see it's press man coverage. It's a corner and a safety up tight on their men. 2 middle linebackers, and then we can see one safety on screen and another safety is off screen. We're going to roll the play, and we see one of the safeties get pulled up by play action, and as Ryan Tannehill throws the deep ball, where in the heck is the other safety? Oh, there he is, number 25, Eric Harris. Dude, what in the world were you covering there? Literally one receiver deep in the pattern, and both safeties charge ahead to play the run, and there goes Brown. On the podcast, I mentioned that there was some blood on this long touchdown for Brown, and that's the blood. I think the best thing A.J. Brown does here isn't so much, wow, what an incredible play, as you were open and you were very stout and you withstood the tackle downfield. But mostly that is a blown coverage. This touchdown, though, is pretty nasty. So here Brown is split wide right, and you'll see him run a little delayed slant on a 3rd and long. And it's a route the defense will typically let you have because they'll come up and tackle you. And okay, Raiders are not a good tackling defense, but also A.J. Brown's kind of a beast. He is strong. He's only 6'1", but relatively speaking, that's not giant, but 226 pounds of muscle, and he is going to truck the occasional tackler. The big plays Brown has made this year notwithstanding, I think it's stretching it a little bit to say he's a burner. Like, he's definitely not slow, but on deeper stuff, I think this is more typical. It's a jump ball kind of throw where the defender usually isn't going to have a huge difficult time staying with A.J. Brown, but Brown can sometimes be physical enough to just go get the ball anyway. And I wasn't kidding when I said A.J. Brown is on the every other week plan. No Tennessee wideout is guaranteed a big workload in this offense in any given week. And while it's admirable that Brown can sometimes do so much with so little, it sure would be nice if he was averaging more than 4 catches a game since Ryan Tannehill took over in Week 6. That said, Week 15 against a Houston secondary just ripped up by Drew Lock. If you need a receiver off the waiver wire in a deeper league, Brown just might be your guy. My preseason comp for him was Michael Crabtree, who had 4 seasons of 8+ touchdowns, had a couple of 1,000-yard seasons too. What we once thought Corey Davis might get in Tennessee, Brown is on the verge of having, and he could help bring you a fantasy title. Thanks so much for watching. Please, please, please smash that like button, write a comment, tell us who else you'd like to see us review film on, and of course, best of all, please subscribe to our channel and then click that little bell above the subscribe button and you'll be notified whenever we post a new video.